Thanks for staying with us. Now, due to heavy and continuous rainfall in the north, many major rivers are in spate, even as floods continue to impact several villages in Uttar Pradesh. Heavy rain in Uttarakhand has prompted the government to ask tourists and pilgrims to postpone their visit by a week. The administration has sounded a red alert in the state. Schools will be closed for 2 days. Over to sports now. The fourth and final test between India and England has begun, and rain has delayed play, with England, of course, making a great start with the bat, of course, scoring 75 for no loss. And India's bowling really hasn't gone anywhere at the moment, but we will have to look forward to that match tomorrow. But nothing much really at stake for India except for pride and perhaps to get back the belief that they can win. No matter what the circumstances are, this one will be the toughest test of character for India.
There's not been much to smile about for Team India on this tour of England, at least not on the field. But the skipper is putting up a brave front.
Well, we are not really sleeping, so we don't really need a wake-up call.
Asleep or awake, the immediate goal for the future will be to avoid a 4-0 scoreline, which will see India fall to third in the test rankings. But judging by resurgent England's almost flawless performance over the first 3 tests, that's going to be easier said than done.
I think we approach it in exactly the same way as we would any other test match. I mean, we're desperate to win, we're desperate to finish the summer on a high, and we've got a great opportunity to do so here this week.
Desperation is something Team India has become accustomed to on this tour. Desperate to find fit players, desperate to avoid defeat, desperate to convince people that this is just a passing phase.
Past 2 years have been great, and we have to look to the future as well, but at the same time, what's important is not to panic, because often the good sides or the best sides, they push the panic button too soon.
No panic in this camp though ahead of the 4th test, except for some concern over James Anderson, who has some muscle stiffness. But for India, it will be a shot at redemption.
It is important, not for the sake of a result, for ourselves more than anything else.
3-0 down in the series, and India are now in a position where they have more to gain than to lose. The Oval Test presents Sachin Tendulkar an opportunity to get to his 100th ton, and MS Dhoni and his boys the much-needed confidence before the ODI series. At the Oval Cricket Ground with Jaideep Bhandarkar, Nikhil Nas for NDTV.
Well, of course, the battle... Staying with cricket now and over to the Bangalore man, the wall seems to be really having an awfully confused time these days, especially when he was caught behind of James Anderson in the 2nd innings of the Edgbaston test. For this, one really needs to put oneself in Rahul Dravid's shoes to really see what really happened at that particular pitch. Take a look.
Rahul Dravid has cleared the air about his bizarre dismissal at the Edgbaston test. Dravid was a judge caught behind, but the hotspot did not show an edge. Everyone was surprised when Jamie did not ask for a referral. Dravid says he was confused and trusted his batting partner Sachin Tendulkar and umpire Simon Toffel, both of whom felt he was out. The sound in fact was of Dravid's bat hitting his shoelace.
Well, the battle for the cricket board's next secretary could be a 3-way affair after incumbent N. Srinivasan becomes the BCCI president next month. Here are the top contenders for that position.
Who will be the next BCCI secretary? The position is currently held by N. Srinivasan, who is going to take over as the president at next month's annual general meeting. Odisha's Ranjit Biswal, Himachal Pradesh Anurag Thakur and Jharkhand's Amitabh Chaudhary are the likely contenders for the post of secretary after Srinivasan.
Over from sports to entertainment now, poet, songwriter and filmmaker Gulzar turned 75 today. Starting his career as assistant to filmmaker Bimal Roy, Gulzar got his break with the film Bandhani, and the songwriter's partnerships with music composers R.D. Burman, Vishal Bharadwaj and A.R. Rahman have given us some memorable classics, be it Andi, Jai Ho or BD. Well, with that, that's all we have time for on the bulletin. Thanks so much for watching and good night.